The time is now 6 o'clock and we'll reconvene the meeting. The board met at 5 o'clock and went into executive session, so we'll be moving forward with the approval of the minutes for November 8th and November 15th.
I move we approve the minutes.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is informational reports. We'll start with Dr. J.
Yeah, Madam President, members of the board and guests, it's great to see all of you here celebrating all of our extracurriculars and Falcons of the Month. Can you throw me up there? So it's, as a former coach, it's really important to, I believe, to recognize all the hard work that we had with our fall sports, our band, all the different extracurricular activities that happen. It's a lot of work to put in the sacrifice. So we're very proud of all of you, and we're going to be recognizing you here in a minute. A couple of comments I have. I'm beyond excited to share with our community that Fountain Hills High School has officially received an A letter grade for the 2023 school year. This is a big step for our district, a big step for our administration and teachers and all you students there that have made that possible. A little history: in 2018, we got our first A letter grade in the new system and held it in 2019 and 2020. There was no there was no grade in 21, and then in 22. Last year, we ended up, after going through an appeal, getting to a B. And then this year, based off of the test scores last year, graduation rates, we were able to get the A letter grade. And that is a very big deal. Students you may have seen in the B hallway and in the Hall of Champions that we've added banners in there to celebrate that. And we will invite our teachers and staff back for another board meeting recognition where we'll officially congratulate all the staff for that. So this is a big deal. Only as percentage of percentage of schools get to that A letter grade is really a hard thing to do. And it's just a testament to all the hard work that's going on there with reteach, the classrooms, the new schedule, I think is going to help us grow even further. And we'll hope to continue that excellence into 24. So very proud of our high school for that. A couple other updates on McDowell Mountain. Our kindergarten playground is going to open tomorrow. And we've been waiting a long time for this, and the kids are very excited. They ask about every 2 seconds if it's going to be open. And I just want to show you the end product. So it turned out very beautiful. If you're a former FH middle school student, you're probably looking at that going, that didn't look like that when we went there. But that's near the basketball hoops there, and you can see it turned out beautiful. It has the pour and play safety piece to it for the kids, and they are excited. So kindergarten will have their own space for drop-off and lunch, recess, and any other time the teachers want to go out there. So it turned out very, very beautiful. And we're very thankful to all involved in helping us make those decisions to get that done. And it turned out great. The rest of the playgrounds are in process right now, and I'll have an update for you at the next meeting. Also, our library has been making huge strides in construction. And one of the things that we wanted there, all of you that went to McDowell Mountain, was, you remember the stairs in the library? And you went there a lot of times to have books read or to meet as a class or hear the librarian. So we added that to the new library there. And this is a construction picture, but you can see that work is starting to really shape up there. It's much bigger than we thought it would be when we looked at it in drawings, but easily we believe 1 to 2 classes at a time can be there to hear a guest speaker, hear a story, learn about what they're learning about. So those are some updates, and with that, I conclude my comments.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or comments for Dr. J? No? Hearing none, we'll start with governing board reports. We'll start with Ms. Reed.
Well, I would love to thank Dr. J and our staff and our students and their family members for working really hard to get us that letter grade. That's really great news. I was able to help with the Thanksgiving, the community feast, And that's one of my favorite events that this district does. It's always neat to see the family members that come in and the community members. And it's always really neat to see the kids so proud of their school and proud to show their families where, you know, where they spend their time. And it was really great to see our staff interact with our community. So that's it for me.
Mrs. Settle?
I have nothing this evening,
Mrs. Acker?
I also helped out with the lunch for before Thanksgiving, and it was unbelievable the amount of family members that were there. So it was a lot of fun for everybody, for the POM team to help give out food. I took my daughter and granddaughter, so we're all working really hard there, which was great. Today I decided to go look at the shop that the PTO has put together for the students, and everybody was really having fun shopping. I mean, they really got good stuff. It was really nice. And because I was there, I was able to see the playground. It's incredible. And the big one is just, it's really big. I know I wouldn't go up there. It's a little too high for me. But it's been great, and I've attended the coffees and Dr. J's explanation to everybody in the coffee. I think it was yesterday. I've lost track of time. It was really good. So it's great seeing the community and helping out.
Thank you. I finally got to tour the preschool. I made an appointment and went in, and it was so fun to see all the littles in there, and the whole preschool was decorated for fall with their little turkey handprints and the different leaves and stuff, and they were all so excited to be working on their crafts and their learning, and so I just appreciate all the preschool staff for having those littles in there and the education that they're getting. And then I'd just like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for the parade that was put on and for recognizing so many of our different groups. Congratulations to the band. The KDA dance girls were in there, at the POM team. There's just so many great groups that get to participate in the floats that were done. It was really amazing, and so I'd just like to thank them for their continuing work of making that parade a success. We'll move on now to district celebrations, starting with McDowell Mountain. Mr. Wilkinson.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I just want to send a quick thank you to piggyback off of you, Ms. Acker, the governing board members, the high school, Mr. Hartman, Ms. Kane, Ms. Wynn. The Falcon Feast was phenomenal. I got a lot of compliments on it. I can't take credit for it. It's because of the community and everyone that's helping out. So we had a really, really good turnout, really good time, and I just want to thank you, because without you guys, it wouldn't have been possible. As Kane said, we have a lot of construction going on. As you saw, the kindergarten's done. The new playground in the courtyard will be done shortly. Kane and I will be racing down the big slide, Big Orange. So place your bets. But all kidding aside, it's a really exciting time at McDowell Mountain. Those things are starting to come to fruition, and the kids are really excited. And it's nice because it's Christmas time, and it goes in nicely with everything that we're trying to do, I think, as a district. So again, thank you to everybody who made those possible. So Falcon of the Month tonight, I'm going to recognize our student, Falcon of the Month. And tonight I have the privilege of recognizing Aiden Wood. And this is what his teacher, Miss Cooper in second grade, had to say about Aiden. Our Falcon of the Month this month is Aiden Wood. Aiden shows integrity by helping those in need without ever being asked. He is an amazing role model for those around him by showing kindness and respect. He makes our classroom a better place. I really enjoy having Aiden in my class, and he makes my day better every time I see him. Thank you for being a great Falcon, Miss Cooper. Aiden Wood. Next up, Dr. Wheeldrayer from the middle school.
Hi, good evening. All right, I have a staff person I would like to recognize. He's coming all the way from Chicago. Oh my gosh, this guy is amazing. Mr. Gary Finelli. He is our newest security guard that we hired in the spring of last year. And let me tell you, he has been one of the greatest assets we've ever hired. He came to us with all the right tools. He is well experienced in both mine and Mrs. Reichler's right-hand man. We fight over him. He is always there when he's needed. He's extremely dependable and very proactive, and he definitely puts safety first. Apart from all of that, important and more serious things is that security guards do, and Mr. Gary is that guy. He is so much fun. He's well liked by both students and staff, and is often found, and I learned this as I was kind of strolling around the campus, participating in PE activities like running laps with the students, practically dying, but he's having so much fun out there while I'm like, go Gary, go Gary. And he keeps going, and the kids are encouraging, and they're having fun with him. And when he's done, he's like, oh. But let me tell you, he is the most amazing coworker. He's a loyal friend, and one with a great sense of humor, too. I'm leaving it at that because he is Mr. Gary. Well, as Miss Kaylee puts, Gary Murray. Gary is good with students. That is an important component of the job, and the kids respect him. Gary is a personable person, and he stops by this classroom regularly to check in and see that everything is going well. He has a wonderful sense of humor and is easy to get along with. Our staff, thank you, Mr. Gary.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Show your certificate. Show your certificate. Never mind. I should show your certificate, but it's all good. There you
And for my students, for the Falcon of the Month, let me tell you, she's in competition. I'm in competition with her because I think her smile is much bigger than mine on a regular basis, and that is Vivian Thomas. Vivian has always been a high-achieving and gifted student who is curious about how the world works. She has an excellent problem-solving skills, loves to research and learn in class, and on her own, and is very interested in the subject matter. She is a hardworking student. She is confident and well-spoken. Vivian is kind to everyone, always respectful and responsible in her actions and words. She is very outgoing, always in a good mood, and a joy to be around. We can't wait to see what amazing future lies ahead. Vivian is a wonderful role model and represents Fountain Hills Unified School District in the most perfect way, the Falcon way. Vivian Thomas. See, look at the smile.
Vivian, I love those pants. Those are amazing.
Okay, I think Mr. Hartman's next.
Hello, everyone. just a quick prequel. Congrats to all our band students and athletes tonight, well deserved in advance. And thank you to Mr. Wilkinson for texting me the Google Doc about these two individuals because, I can't remember everything. So thank you, Mr. Wilkinson. First, our staff member. This individual has been a phenomenal addition to our staff. Her kindness and professionalism since day one with staff, students, and community has been a welcome addition to a position that has had a fair amount of turnover and is essential to a school. This individual combines her professional skills, bedside manner, and parental instincts to make the health office a safe zone for students. She's dependable, flexible, going all the way back to her job interview that she had to conduct in her car from North Dakota. She is excellent at assessing student health issues and informing parents, as well as sending students back to class when appropriate. She gets compliments abound from all staff and students, and we hope she is here for a long time. Betsy Boyle, our nurse. Okay, this student is a pure delight. She lights up any room that she walks into and is well known on campus as a nice person and for being highly involved. As a member of the swim team, sophomore class president, and school announcement anchor extraordinaire, Ryan balances all of this while maintaining straight A's and a 3.9 GPA. She is the perfect example of what it means to be successful and highly involved. We are looking forward to watching her continue to flourish at Fountain Hills High School and beyond. Please welcome Ryan Miller.
Congratulations to all the Falcons of the month. Next up, we're going to celebrate fall sports, and we're going to start with the girls volleyball team. So if you all would come up and just kind of line up. Did they just send you two on your own?
So you can pass that there. If there's anything that you want to share, you can speak on them. Okay, we'll take your picture then. Do I speak into this?
Yeah.
Okay. Can it hear me? I don't know, I feel weird not facing. Can I talk this way? Sure. Nope, that's not gonna work. Okay, sorry. Oh my gosh. I'll just say really fast that this varsity team, I know that there's two, they're representing well, but I've coached them for 3 years now, and it's been 3 years of so much hard work and dedication from this group. We have 6 seniors that graduated, and if you attended any of the games, you would have seen just how dedicated they were to the sport, to being good teammates, to being good opponents. It was just a really special group of girls, and I wish more people could have seen that, but the success that they got this season, making it to quarterfinals against some really tough teams, was just a really big testament to the kind of girls that they are. and not just on the court, but they're really awesome kids. They're all academically achieving and of high character, and so just a really special team. It was good to catch them.
Thank you.
And the girls' volleyball team consisted of Bella Garman, Kittrick Garman, Sophia Wicklund, Janaea Boone, Eliana Schultz, Bree March, Sydney Beauchamps, Zoe Kahutek, Lucia Kalmbach, Seela Smith, Catherine Hampton, and Jocelyn Bledo. Okay, next up is the swim team. If you would all come up and stand in front. The swim team consists of Avery Evans, Brendan Davies, Kaya Evans, Kian Evans, and Natalie Owers.
I'm going to have them stay up here with me while I talk. We have two missing because they are playing basketball right now in the gym. So, testament to multi-sport athletes in our district. I love it. Thank you so much for having us here tonight. It is such an honor to be able to talk about the swim team. And this is our 6th year that we've had a team here at Fountain Hills. Sorry. And it's the 6th year that we've also made it to the state. So I've had swimmers make the state championships each year, which is awesome. Those standing in front of you are also excellent students. The regular season team consisted of 15 swimmers, and we had a GPA of 3.75. Wow. However, these 5 swimmers have a GPA of a 4.25. So very, very good student athletes standing in front of you. Very proud of them. But let's talk about the athletes. We have Natalie Owers, who's a sophomore. This was her 2nd time making it to the state, qualified for state. She qualified in 2 events and set a school record in the 50 free, which was set back our 1st year and had held for 6 years. So that's a very big accomplishment. Awesome. Brendan Davies, he's a senior, and he qualified as well with the relays and helped break 3 relay records this year, as did the other 3 swimmers that, well, 2 are not here, but. So Kaya Evans was a freshman. He qualified in 2 events and 2 relays. Avery Evans also qualified in 2 events and 2 relays. And then we have Kian Evans standing before you. He qualified in multiple events, but you can only swim 2 individuals and then 2 relays, so we had to choose. He ended up 5th in both of his individual events, and overall the boys' team was 10th out of, I think it was 43. So we did very well with a very small team, very high places, which is great. We represented Fountain Hills High School very well and swam very fast, and that was it was a very fun event. Just so you have a little bit of background, these athletes practice at 5:30 in the morning before school at the Peaks Athletic Club. And because we don't have diving blocks and that sort of thing, we travel in the afternoons to Scottsdale. We rent lanes there, and so we were on the road a lot, going here and there and competing. But I just want to congratulate you all on a great season and look forward to year 7.
Okay, next up, we're going to celebrate cross country with Sky Alper, Caleb Lara, and Kobe Wright.
Thank you for having us. Our cross-country team had a great season. Every one of our runners ran well all season long. We had lots of personal bests. Most of our top performances was at our sectionals, which is a great thing to have. These three, of course, are state qualifiers, and they did everything it takes to make it to the state championship. They worked hard in the preseason, summer training, 5:30 in the morning for us too. They worked hard all summer long, and our opening meet, great performances, and definitely knowing that their commitment and dedication to getting to state was there. So all season long, we had great races, great performances, so many personal bests throughout. And they worked hard all season. They were great teammates, and Sky medaling every time, winning an invitational outright, which is a huge honor. Caleb and Colby, just race after race, just amazing performances all season long. So they qualified for state, and they went out there and had their best race. Could not ask for anything better on the biggest day. So it's very exciting, very proud of them. Sky and Caleb will take this with them forever, knowing that they competed in the state championship. Sky with a top 25 performance. Colby will be back here next year for another state acknowledgement, which is very exciting. And our future is bright for cross country. Thank you.
Thank you.
And last but not least is the band. There's a lot of you, so I'm gonna go through your names. Chris Town, Racine Pomyak, Allison Garrett, August, I'm so sorry if I mess up your names, Caslin Knockoff, Cheyenne Bush, Riley Holmes, Marcina Gibson Johnson, Milena Holland, Austin Jimenez, Reese Thurlow, Christian Daniels, Milo Kuhn, Lestat Fontaine, Ryan McDonough, Cassandra Riviera Ruelas, Gerardo Torres, Matthew Berry, Mark Monero, Brent Tenor, Sebastian Atkinson, Cody Barzak, Nathan Barzak, Savannah Simpson, Morgan Adams, Yeshua Harris, I know, I'm probably like messing it up. LaDamian Harrison, Matthew Schaefer, Cynthia Espinoza, Kai Collier, Xander Hewitt, John Varga, Charlie Simpson, Jeremy Arosha, Sophia Espinoza, Natalie Jett, Paige Summer, and Jude Sandoval. Will you all come up and stand in front?
We don't have to take for this one at all.
Good evening, Governing Board, Dr. J. I know it's kind of hard to see now that they're all up here. What to say here? I first started coming over to visit the school last spring, and I had a chance to meet a few of the students at that time. And we had a Meet the Director night, and at that time, I kind of laid out what we were going to do. And I think there might have been a lot of skepticism at the time and uncertainty. Is that really going to happen or not? So I stuck to my plan. We met with the kids over the summer in sections. We had a band camp. And when the school year started, we started teaching our marching band show, worked on our music. We performed at the home football games. And part of the plan was to get involved with competition again, and we did that. We performed in 3 competitions, 2 were invitationals, and then the final one was the AZMBA championship for bands in Class 1A for members 39 and less, and we were at 37 with our marching band. And the kids have just done great. One of the things I've said the whole time is that I just have to trust what I'm telling you, because you have no experience to go by anything else other than what I'm telling you. So they've done great. They believed in what I was bringing to them, and the success we've had this year is just one big stepping stone to looking to greater things for next year and the years to come. So out of the 30 bands in our class, we came in 11th, and keeping in mind, none of these students had marched before this year, technically marched in any kind of field show situation, let alone a competition. So I'm very proud of them, and I hope that the community and the school district is very proud of their accomplishments also. Thank you. All right, just taking a moment here to get this out to everybody. And Chris doing what he always does. He's my assistant. And he's been an awesome drum major too.
Yeah, you're gonna stay tight because you've got a lot of cameras here, so just stay there for a little bit. Okay, got it ready? All right, there you go. Congratulations.
All right, congratulations to the band and all our fall athletes. We're going to continue on with our meeting. If you would like to be excused to go do your homework, feel free to exit now, or you can stay and listen to the rest of the board meeting. Oh, but if you're from Stugo, you still need to stay here because we're waiting for your report. Okay, next up is Stugo. If you'll come up to the podium, please.
Hi, I'd like to thank you guys all for the wonderful work you're doing here. I'm Colleen Schraber. I'm the vice president of our freshman class. We're speaking on behalf of Stugo. This Friday coming up, we have a movie night. We will be showing Home Alone. We have prepared to buy pizza. We have bought hot chocolate. We have a popcorn machine ready. We tested the projectors. Everything should work out great. I think it'll be fun. I think a lot of people are excited for it. We also have a hallway decorating competition coming up. I think it will get the holiday spirits up. I hope people will volunteer to help us decorate. I think once we get the word out more, people will get more excited about it, and we'll get a decent amount of traction for it. Okay. Ellie Vickers.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm Ellie Vickers, I'm the secretary, and we are hosting, or we're planning a Christmas Angel, or the Forgotten Angel, for the Salvation Army, where we have a toy drive going on for each grade, and they bring packaged toys for children who can't afford or haven't got presents for this Christmas. It's going to be, all the gifts are going to be collected by December 8th, but we might push that back for excess gifts. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Sanders. Sanchez. I'm the fundraiser coordinator. We are doing candy cane grams over the school, so you can buy them in Mr. Keating's office, and you can write a little note to your friends, and you can buy them through this week, and I think we're going to push it back to next week because not a lot of people have bought them yet, but we're getting the word out just now. So after the word gets out, we are going to deliver them during our advisory period to people that have bought them and like are giving them to them.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all you guys do.
Thank you.
You guys are great.
You guys are all freshmen?
Yes.
Thank you
Oh.
so much. I'm really impressed with your presentation. That was awesome.
Okay, next up is the budget revision. Tyler? Welcome back. Get you back. It's right. Let me get you back.
Well, that loads. Good evening, President Reed, members of the board. Tonight I'll be presenting the budget revision number 1 for the fiscal 2024 budget. I'll go into a little detail on why we're revising the budget tonight. So with that, so the reason we're revising the budget tonight, there's a couple of things in statute that require districts, basically ADE comes in and tests what we adopted back in July to what you're currently running in terms of budget. They issue 2 reports, a budget 25 report and a budget 75 report. Those reports coincide with reconciling out the district's adopted budget to current enrollment numbers. And so there's a trigger in statute that basically states if the district adopted a budget in July that exceeds 1% of the general budget limit, then the district would be required to do a budget revision. As you know, this can happen very easily. With current year funding, we are estimating ADM in July. We are estimating carry forward with still months left in expenditures. So there's a lot of variables that come into that budget adoption that we're taking basically assumptions on. Our approach has been very conservative, but again, you're at the mercy of the unknown. If I had a crystal ball to tell me what enrollment would be, I think I would be a very popular person among other districts. So you were not the only district doing a budget revision tonight, or this prior to December 15th. There are multiple districts that are in this same instance. So going into detail on this budget 25 report, again, it basically states AD, once they publish this budget 25 report, they publish a letter as well, and that states that it gives you the details of which budget that you exceeded. Remember, your 2 budgeted funds are M&O and capital. Your trigger for Fountain Hills was M&O, and I'll go into a little more detail on that. But again, like I mentioned, the bullet point there too, the most important factor in that budget reconciliation is average daily membership, which is your enrollment, which is the main multiplier in the budget formula. So again, in addition to that, we have been having part of the trigger has been consolidation issues. So the district has gone through a massive consolidation. We still have some CTSD members, so those are the school-specific codes, reporting up kind of incorrectly to ADE. We've been working diligently on that, and we have this next report, we feel like those need to be reconciled. But those reports take a while to kind of get reconciled with ADE. It doesn't affect any of your funding, but it's just the change in ADE. I like to call it government moving timeline. It's not overnight. Often it takes months to make those changes happen. So that's what we're seeing. So immediately, if you already are having consolidation issues with ADM reporting incorrectly, you're going to trigger that 1% right away. So that's part of the issues and part of the reasons why we're here again for budget revision. Like I said, those we feel like are corrected at this point in time, and so going forward, those should be reported correctly. Diving into the changes, again, like I said, the two main budgets are M&O capital. And so when you do a budget revision, these are the only two changes that you're going to see on the numbers in terms of the report. I broke it down a little differently because I kind of wanted to explain the formula a little bit more in depth. So the first column there is your changes or categories. The second column is what we adopted in July, what the district adopted. The third column is the budget revision, what the recommended budget revision is for approval tonight. And then I pulled the differences so you can see the differences. So going down the list, you'll see the first category or change is base level amount. That's set by the K-12 budget bill. You typically do not see a change in the base level amount, the per pupil amount, in the middle of the fiscal year. So you'll see no difference on that. That is standard, but I just wanted to state that out. ADM, like I mentioned, this is your big multiplier, right? This is a swinging vote in terms of what can really change your budget mid-year. On the reconciled numbers, we're showing 56 student difference. So what we adopted back in July came in, we adopted basically a flat enrollment. We were very optimistic that the district would continue to maintain those enrollment numbers. We saw a slight decrease in 56. I do want to note, though, that over the last 2 years, you completely bucked the trend of the drastic enrollment decline from the last 5 years. So while there is a decline there, it is optimistic in looking at the grander picture of the last 5 to 10 years and how the trend has bucked and slowed in terms of enrollment decline. Going down, as you can see, that ADM is multiplied by the base level amount. There is some other formula in there. I didn't put any group B weights. If you have students that qualify for special needs, ELL, those funding, that base level amount increases based on the student. I would completely blow out this presentation if I included the full formula. So this is the consolidated budget formula. But you take basically the base level amount with your group B weights times the ADM, and that gets you your revenue control limit, or RCL. So naturally, decreasing the ADM is going to decrease your revenue control limit. That number right there, the 341,000, that's a decrease in M&L. We add back in the budget balance carry forward. Back to earlier where I said we budget conservatively. On the adopted budget, we estimate a carry forward of 545,000. We actually realized a little more money carrying forward. So that is green, so that's an added back into the budget. That's a budget increase. The add-ons, these include the Prop 123 funding, the one-time state aid supplement that was in the K-12 budget bill this year, that $300 million district-wide. That equates to, I think 330,000 for Fountain Hills. A lot of those were just, so we make estimates on those. So that 14,000 is just truing those numbers up on what we actually are receiving for this year. And then that gives you your general budget limit. So your total M&O budget limit being revised is about $245,000 lower than what we adopted. Any questions on M&O before I go to capital?
With the negative difference, how are we restructuring our spending to account for that?
So we're utilizing the carry forward to balance the budget mid-year. We don't propose any FTE cuts mid-year. That can be drastic in terms of education. You don't want to disrupt the classroom. So we're managing the budget via budget balance carry forward and other cash reserves. And then working on the 25 budget, we'll look to make some adjustments in terms of staffing. That's your number one budget item. So again, we've talked about this, I think, in the adopted budget. We knew this was going to be a conversation going into fiscal 25. And so those recommendations will come as we start to talk about the 25 budget probably at the end of the year. So the other budget fund is your capital or district additional assistance, as notated in the budget forms. Much simpler formula for capital. Again, the same kind of format. We have our changes or categories. the adopted budget and the revised budget, which we're revising to, and then the difference. The adjusted DAA, adjusted district additional assistance, that's your annual capital apportionment based on the formula. So the formula for capital, it's weighted, it's about $450, don't quote me on that, for K-8, and then 9-12, they're a higher weight because there's additional capital expectations for that, textbooks, et cetera, that the state funds. They do not fund sports, but textbooks and the additional capital weight for devices it's a little bit higher on that weight. So that $727,000, I was $12 off there, so pretty good estimate. Again, capital's another one that's funded on prior year ABM. So we going into next year, depending on what enrollment is, we'll see a slight decline in that because it would be based on this current year. So lovely budget formula. There's always interest, ins and outs to that. Going down, the budget balance carry forward. Again, being conservative in that number on the adopted budget, we knew we had a lot of consolidation projects in place. That $391,000 is basically a lot of those consolidation projects being encumbered but not expended. So we anticipated more expenses in the prior year than actually occurred. A lot of those projects just rolled over into this year. So that's not, while it's additional budget capacity, that budget capacity is already earmarked for those projects that that carried over into this year. So that represents $391,000 from the carry forward. The add-ons, this is they'll solely add on for capital's interest. You can actually capitalize on the interest earned. The board or district does not get a say in where those funds are invested. That's determined by the county treasurer's office, where all your funds reside. So that interest apportionment, I was off just a little bit, 11,000 on that. So that's an add-on to the capital. So that gives you a total revised capital budget of just over $4 million, which is an increase from the adopted of $400,000. But like I said, a lot of that increase is because we underestimated on the adopted. We assumed we would have more expenditures than the adopted. But those expenditures are actually coming into this year, as those are projects that were not completed or in progress. So not necessarily a new budget is what I'm going to get to. Any questions on capital? Okay. The last slide here is just kind of a summary and upcoming budget conversation. So again, I mentioned the drop in enrollment triggered the early December revision. We are required to do a budget revision number 2 in May, and that's to true up to the 100-day ADM number. So we did those around January. And after that date, there's no more additional funding. So our districts are funded through 100 days. So if you get any more enrollment after that or decrease, you're not penalized, but you're also not, you also don't get more money if you get enrollment after that. So we'll be back prior to May 15th to do that final May budget revision. And again, I mentioned earlier, the district started preparations for budget fiscal year 2025. This would be starting July 24 through June 25. Some of the knowns that I've been able to kind of garner and that are in statute is the 2% inflation increase. Currently, I'm not going to explain the formula in the state, but currently if the state is over their formulaic amount for inflation increase, they have to minimally fund 2%. I believe I talked about this on the adopted. And so that number is around 3.6%. We never see that full amount. The state always funds just a minimum 2%. So I'm projecting that is going to be the case again for 25. And then the final year of the DAA inflation adjustment, this was Governor Ducey's initiative. It's a 3-year inflation adjustment to the capital budget. That increase for next year would be 4.6%. But as I mentioned earlier, the capital budget's based on prior year funding, so that may just level out. We may see continuation of funding there. Lastly, Four Peaks building discussions. I haven't had a chance to talk to the board after the election, but we all know the bond resolution did not pass, but the sale of the property did. And so we're beginning those discussions. I've connected Dr. Jay with a couple of realtors that work within schools, and so we're looking at next steps and understanding what that building's zoned as, et cetera, what that building can sell for, if that is the board's decision to sell that. So by having voter approval, that does not mean it's a given as a go. We'll still bring back any recommended action to that building when we get there. But we want to do due diligence with a realtor and figure out what that appraises for, figure out all the information regarding that building. So with that, that is presentation.
Thank you, Tyler. Does anyone have any questions regarding the budget revision?
I have one question for me. Do we have a timeline as to when Four Peaks and that discussion will come back before the board?
Dr. J on
You know, at this time, just been working with my team on what the next steps look like. Tyler's connected us. I've had a couple of informational meetings. I would imagine February would probably be, I think, a good time. I have reached out to the renters, correct? Did you send a letter?
I have not, I am still in conversation with you.
Okay, so we're in process of reaching out to the renters because their leases are expired at the end of the month, so we're in the process of renewing those for a period of time. What we're working with Dave on is to honor what I shared publicly was to give them 6 months. And so I plan to offer them, based on conversation with Jill, that it was superintendent's decision to do that. So I plan to send them a letter soon after Dave approves it to offer them a 6-month rental agreement, and then from there we'll revisit it at that time.
Yes, the board has done no contract negotiations with any renters. That has always gone through the superintendent. Tyler, we had our audit issue, and then most of that was corrected. Did the auditors come back in and do any type of recap on that? And if so, have we gotten any type of report showing where we're at?
Yeah, I'm going to let Alicia speak to that. She's been spearheading that discussion with the Auditor General, as well as going through your annual audit, which is ongoing as well. So
We have a meeting tomorrow with the Auditor General's office to do our final review. So as soon as that's completed, I will make sure we send it to the board.
Okay, yes, because the board has gotten nothing to update us. Okay, perfect. Are there any other questions regarding the budget revision? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Tyler, for your great presentation. Will you mind sending that to Krista so the board can have a copy of it, please?
absolutely.
Thank you. Next up is student activity and auxiliary accounts on pages 27 to 34. Are there any questions?
No.
Hearing none, we'll move on to the unaudited financial report on page 35. Are there any questions? Hearing none, we'll move on. Site council minutes. Are there any questions or comments regarding the site council? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on. Current enrollment. Our current enrollment shows an enrollment of 1,161 students. You also got the report as requested by Mrs. Settle showing the enrollment and withdrawals and where they were going. Did that work for you?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Can you remind me what the number was last meeting? Was it 1168, did we?
It shows you plus minus, so all the withdrawals and all the enrollments are, it's on a separate, right there.
Okay.
So you can see, like I said, we monitor all of them. We've, over the last year, we've had the fewest number of students leaving to go to Scottsdale and other schools that are local. But we've seen more move out of state recently over the last couple of months, according to registrars.
Next up, public comments. Do we have any public comments, Krista? Thank you. Next Next up is action items. The first one is the personnel report. Are there any questions or comments regarding the personnel report?
Nope.
Do I have a motion?
I move we accept the personnel report.
I second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the payroll vouchers, pages 46 to 50. Are there any questions regarding the payroll vouchers? Okay. I move that we approve the payroll vouchers.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
These are just the payroll, right?
Those
Not
are
the,
payroll.
then I approve.
Next up is the accounts payable vouchers.
I have some questions.
Go ahead.
There was one in particular I wanted to ask about. The AKKO LLC for 99.6, is that the, that's not the painting.
Those were for Chromebooks.
These were for Chromebooks.
The insurance for Chromebooks.
On the purchase order or the voucher for those, it said that it was payable over 4 years. Is there a reason why we chose to pay in one?
Alicia, I'm sorry, I need you to come out. Okay. We can't hear you on
Sorry.
live stream. After doing 2 meetings minutes by live stream, I now know where the weaknesses are.
So in order to get the pricing that they wanted to lock us in on, we had to pay all 4 years at once.
I just don't want to interrupt. Board member Reed, so.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I appreciate the email on the finance charges. I know board president Reed asked about that. Is there a way that we can be, well, I guess I'll go back. With the Auditor General, are we self-disclosing that, or?
We do after the facts when those happen, so yeah.
Okay.
Are there any other questions regarding the accounts payable vouchers?
I just had two more. We have a 26,000 payment to Bel Air Mechanical. Was that for something specific, or is that just kind of one of those open purchase orders? Or was that for a specific project?
I would have to look into it with John and get back to you. Unless Alicia has it there.
There, it's in the voucher.
It's
file
on
that
page 62.
presented.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Right?
Alicia, are you pulling that up? Okay. What's your next question then?
That's it.
It's in 2017. The voucher's 2017. It was Bel Air for 26,487. You absolutely can.
I noticed that we had a consultant come out and do a roof assessment. Is that something that is required, or is that something that roofing companies won't do as they're making a bid, or?
You know, John, when John shared it with me, he felt that because of the number of budgeting or project over a period of years. So I think that's why he went with that, to get that done.
Do we have a copy of that
We do.
report? Is
Yep.
that something that
Yes.
you can share with the
Sure.
board then? Thank you.
Yep.
So the $17,000 purchase was to install a 2.5-ton RTU concession stand.
This one's for 26,487. Was there an additional purchase with that?
There were a few added onto there, so it was 26.
26,487 and 5 cents. on voucher 2017, 11/9 is the date.
That check is 19,779. So I'm gonna have to do some more research on that and find out what was uploaded.
We have it, but just,
Yeah.
if you give me a second, and turn it up here.
It's right after school psychologist, the Arizona Association.
So it appears that there were quite a few that made up that one. If you open the files on page 42, had a work order for 2 of the chillers. Do you need to go through it,
Yeah,
or?
go right ahead.
Okay.
So 26,000.
26,487.
Did you find that one?
I did, it was on a different voucher. So that included some work on a drinking fountain cooler. It included the big expenses were drinking station in the gym for the boys' locker room.
A lot of people on the team.
It's probably good enough, I can look into it more.
Yeah, computer room has a water leak, condensation leak, and mini split not working. And then RTU 29 was not cooling, found that unit.
Work order on the maintenance room.
Yeah, so there's several things. Strainer needed cleaned in K1, 11 classroom AC not cooling.
Service on AC units here in the learning center.
A P-trap, building F clog drain in the nurse's office. So yeah, there's a lot of different, boys locker room. So yeah, there's several different charges that are part of that 26,000.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I move that we approve the accounts payable vouchers.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Say, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm not voting, I'm abstaining from that.
Okay. Did you vote, Ruby?
I wanted to make a different motion.
Okay, go ahead.
If I could. Just that.
Well, hold on, we have to finish
Right.
voting mine, so,
Right.
okay, so right now, it's 2, 1, and a nay. Oh, so yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I won't vote no. That's okay. My motion would have been that we self-report, and that I want to ensure that that's done.
Okay, so we'll add that as part of the motion. That's okay. Approve the payroll the motion to approve the payroll vouchers,
Accounts payable vouchers.
accounts payable vouchers. To make sure that we self-report. So, and please let's figure out how to avoid these extra costs in the future. So, I realize this was from back in October, but we've got to figure that out. So it's 201, or 301, right? You voted yes, or you voted no?
I voted yes with the
Yes.
amendment. Yeah.
Okay. 301. Thank you. Next up are the donations. There is a single donation. Thank you to everybody who does donate to the school district. It's always appreciated. Are there any questions regarding the donation?
Just a comment, I got to see the shirts, the Boo Crew shirts, when I was at the school the other day, and they're really cute, and the kids love them.
Do I have a motion to approve the donations?
I move we approve the donations.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Madison, I'm sorry, Madison, you were second, right?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Next up is the budget revision that Tyler just presented. Are there any additional questions regarding the budget revision? Hearing none, I motion that we approve the budget revision.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the Arts Consumables Grant Intergovernmental Agreement. Dr. J.
Yeah, Madam President, members of the board and guests, it's, Krista can probably defer more to her, she does our grants. So.
So this is an opportunity through.
Oh,
You're fine.
Wonderful.
This is an opportunity through the state to actually receive $1,000 per teacher based on the the consumables that you see in the list in your board packet. The way I understand it is all we need to do is complete the intergovernmental agreement with them. We had to, Alicia, I'm sorry, what was the name of that portal? We had to do a procurement portal. Is that correct? So we had to be part of a procurement portal and then submit the names of the teachers, and I believe that they automatically get that $1,000. There's a lot of money that the state is giving over for that, so this will affect 9 teachers for us. But we have to have the IGA on file with the state, so.
And that IGA is between us and the Department of Ed?
Correct.
Thank you. Are there any other questions regarding the intergovernmental agreement? Okay. Hearing none, I move that we approve the IGA between Fountain Hills Unified and the Arizona Department of Ed specifically for use with the Arts Consumable Grant.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up are the discussion items on superintendent's annual evaluation. This was done in executive session with our superintendent and the board. The documents that were filled out will go in the superintendent's file, but there is no action on that. Next up is the McDowell Mountain Elementary Fountain Hills Middle School supplemental reading book list. You were provided several pages, 3 pages of reading books that are being requested to be used in the school. If you have any questions regarding these books, please reach out to Dr. Jade. And if there's anything that you would like to read, please make sure that you do that before we need to approve them.
This will
Can
be
I-
put out there for 60 days again?
It's already been.
It's already there, okay.
And, oh, did Kevin leave? Has this been put to the site council, do we know, so that we know for sure that there's some parents that are involved?
That is not our process.
Well, the last time we were discussing it, I said that I was concerned that maybe parents, I mean, I think we can fall back on parents, it's their responsibility to find out and be aware, but I think that one thing that could be helpful is if we were making more of an effort to make sure that these things get in front of parents, so that when we vote on them, we know that they had the ample opportunity
You
to.
can certainly have those lists available and review with them, yes. That's
Thank
not
you.
a problem.
I have one comment, and I don't know if it's feasible, but is there a way to add a link on the website that would have this? I know you have it in board packet, but for parents or something?
On the website, no. I did provide a link in the email.
Yes, I love
Based
that.
on your
Thank you.
last request.
Thank you. Just so it's available for community members who might not get an email.
We can do a tab for supplemental reading.
Thank you so much, I appreciate that.
Any other questions regarding the reading books?
Real quick, before we move on, I just want to say thank you to Krista for finding that grant. That's awesome.
And Krista gave me the last enrollment number was also 11,160, or I'm sorry, 1,161, so it has.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Um,
I don't think that's right.
Future action, in January, we'll be having a budget discussion, and then we will also schedule some time for a Golden Eagle presentation. Dates of upcoming meetings, our first meeting will be January 3rd, and then an additional meeting on January 17th. With that,
I move we adjourn.
I second.
motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. So we have no meeting on the 20th, right? I don't know why I had it